The federal government is suing the state of California over its aggressive stand against federal immigration law. Governor Jerry Brown of California calls this an act of war, and it is. But who fired the first shots is the question. California officials are trying to undermine, as we said, the laws that Congress passed. Oakland Mayor Libby Schaaf publicly warned of an impending ICE raid so that criminals could go into hiding and escape federal agents. Gubernatorial candidate Gavin Newsom, the former mayor of San Francisco, says that other local leaders should imitate her. Thomas Homan is acting director of ICE, and he joins us tonight. Mr. Director, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
So when you have the largest state in the country saying it's illegal for anyone who lives in that state, private citizens, to cooperate with you, a federal law enforcement agency, what does that do to the work you're trying to do in the state of California?
It makes our enforcement duties a lot more difficult in the state of California. Rather than taking custody of a criminal alien who's a public safety threat inside the security and the safety of a county jail,
right,
where we don't have access to weapons, now we are forced to go into neighborhoods, places of employment to locate these public safety threats on their turf, where they could have access to who knows what weapons. My biggest concern is one of my agents is going to knock on the door someday, and he's not going to go home that night. And that's very unfortunate, because he should have been able to apprehend that person in a jail and not be forced to go on his trip to arrest him.
So this is making it more dangerous for federal immigration agents, but there's an irony here, because the state of California, its politicians are claiming that you guys are going door to door and rousting the innocent, but you're saying that their policies are making you go door to door.
Yeah, look, let's be clear. The sanctuary city policies are forcing our hand, right? For decades, we've had access to county jails. We can take, some of us in the country illegally. They're sitting in a county jail, which means they're not a choir boy. Locals and state officials have made the decision to lock these people up. Well, and for decades, we went to the jail, identified them as illegal aliens, and take them into custody and remove them from the country, remove them from the community. But because they've limited our access to the jails, they don't share information with us. Now we are forced to go into neighborhoods, which, when the governor says he's protecting immigrant communities, or the mayor says she's protecting immigrant communities, they're not. They're releasing criminal aliens back into the very communities they live and they victimize. So they're putting the immigrant communities at increased danger of crime, and they put the immigrant community at increased arrest by ICE, because when we go to a home to arrest that target, if we find others, they will be arrested too. So they've actually put them in a bad position. And I'll add this. If they went to the immigrant community and asked the immigrant community, where would you rather have ICE, in a county jail or in your neighborhood, I guarantee they would tell you the county jail.
How does it make you feel to hear your agents described, in effect, as bigots, as a domestic Gestapo by Democrats in California?
It's an insult to the 20,000 American patriots that work for ICE. These are men and women that get up every day and strap a gun to their hip to defend this nation. They leave the safety and security of their home every day to protect their neighborhoods, to protect the community. And they're enforcing the law that Congress enacted. They're doing their job. They're sworn oath. So it's an insult to many fine men and women.
You don't make the laws. Congress does. So how do you respond when Brian Fallon, who's a former spokesman for Hillary Clinton, says that Democrats ought to run on eliminating ICE?
If you look at the work ICE did, how many criminal aliens have we removed from these communities? How much safer have we made these communities? These politicians, they need to talk to the victims of alien crime. Talk to the parents that I talked to that lost children at the hands of criminal aliens. They need to talk to California, the California Sheriff's Association. The governor's sheriffs came out in support of ICE. They did a press release last night. If I can read just one sentence in their press release, it shows Governor Brown is wrong on this issue. This has come from his own sheriffs. We oppose SB 54. The bill is enacted, still containing significant liabilities, which include restricting our communication with federal law enforcement about the release of wanted, undocumented criminals from our jails, including known gang members and other serious offenders. His own sheriffs agree with what ICE and DOJ saying.
It's shocking. Mr. Homan, thank you for coming on. That was great.
Thank you for having me.
Good to see you.